Everyone, welcome to Tammy's Creative Cards and Crafts, and I'm Tammy, and I just want to welcome you to my channel. And this evening I'm going to do a little bit something different. What I'm going to do is a series of videos, and they're going to start today. This series of videos is going to be 10 videos, and the first one is going to be on the Big Shot. Now, I know that a lot of my subscribers probably know a lot about the Big Shot and how it works, but however, there are a lot of viewers that have no idea of how a Big Shot works. They have no idea of how a cuddle bud works, and I have had a few messages from different people wanting me to do a tutorial on just basic things of getting started on, some people do not have supplies. They're new to crafting. And so I have come up with a series of 10 videos that I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to list them off here. And the first video today is going to be on die cutting and embossing with the Big Shot. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Everything you need to know about your plates and everything for your Big Shot, how to load it, what you need to do, everything about that. And then there will be 9 extra videos to go along with this series, and I will touch upon each thing in those series, basic things that you should know in paper crafting. Now, if you're a beginner, you don't have to have all these supplies and don't feel like you need to go out and buy these things. Everybody has to start somewhere. And if you could see behind me, I have all these stamps and all these ink pads. And guess what? I didn't buy this stuff overnight. It took me many, many years to acquire all this stuff. And there's no way that I could get this stuff overnight. So it's lots of time, lots of practice, and little bits here and there. What I want to show you is the things to start out with, and you can just take it from there. So, like I said, we'll start with the die cutting and embossing. Then I'm going to show you the basics of stamps, the different kinds of stamps. There's different kinds of stamps and just some basics about stamping. I'm going to do a video on inks and the different types of inks and which inks you should be using when you're doing different kinds of stamping. I'm going to go over on a video of different kinds of paper, and what kind of paper you should be using when you're using different inks, when you're using different kinds of markers or watercolor or stuff like that. I'm going to do a video on what kind of adhesives you can use, glues, tapes, stuff like that. I'll do a video on cutting and scoring using your scoreboard if you have one, and other cutting tools that you may have. We'll do a video on different types of coloring, whether it's watercoloring, markers, color pencils. I did do a quick video on that, but we'll touch up a little bit more. And I'll do a video on punches and show you some different punches and stuff that I have and how to use those properly. We'll do a video on heat embossing and show you what embossing powders, the heat gun, how to work those, how to do different techniques and stuff with that. And like I said, if you're a beginner, maybe you've never done that before. Maybe that's something you'd like to try. Maybe if it's not, maybe you just like to check it out. And then I will do a video, it's called Sparkle and Glitter, and that'll show you just other things about sparkle and glitter. Glittering projects and putting sparkle on different things and yeah, making it pretty. And then after those 10 videos are over, what I'm going to do is possibly once or twice a week, I'm going to do a video, and this is something new, a video called once or twice a week. One is going to be called Fun Folds, and it's going to be a card every week, and I'm going to show you a real cool technique of how to fold a card or fold a box or do a fun fold of something, a project. And then another thing I'm going to have on my channel is it's called Terrific Technique. So it'll be a technique that you can take into your project, whether it's using a glue and using it with ink and making something, and you can use it on a project and it makes something totally different. How you can, well, you just have to wait and see, because I don't want to tell you and give it away. So, but it's called Terrific Techniques, and it's really cool how you can use different techniques to make something really awesome on your cards. So let's get started with the tutorial on the Big Shot. And like I said, some people call it the Sizzix or the Cuddle Bug. It's pretty much all the same thing. And if you just bear with me for 2 seconds, I'm just going to adjust the camera. Okay, give me 1 second here. I got this on pretty tight. Okay. So this is my Big Shot here, and believe it or not, this was one of my first purchases I made when I got into paper crafting. Mine was around $100, and it's quite heavy. It's a good solid machine. It still looks like brand new. The only thing that you end up having to replace is your cutting plates, and mine are due to be replaced because what happens is, you know, they get quite scratched up from the dies on their, you know, cutting into them, and that's totally normal for them to look like this. I have some over there that actually look worse than this. So, and when you buy your Big Shot, they come with 2 plates like this, not scratched, very nice and pretty, like over here. And it also comes with a Big Shot platform, which is about that thick, and then a thinner piece, which is called the thin die adapter. Okay, so when you're going to be cutting a die, okay, so I'm just going to put this in on my machine right here like that. And just bear with me so I don't make it. I'm just going to move that back here. So if you're going to cut a die, and if you're a first-time person, this is a die here. And there's 2 different types of dies. Now they're called thinlits or framelits. Now a framelit is these are framelits. A framelit is anything that frames, just like these ovals. They frame your cardstock. A thinlet is something that is very detailed. See, like that? Like that butterfly's very intricate cuts. And those are called thinlets. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to cut out this thinlet. And so what you would need first is just a piece of cardstock. And you're going to have your main platform on there. And when you're cutting a die, you're going to have your thin die adapter, because, and it tells you on your little pieces here what ones you're going to put on. And these are called sandwiches. So when you're making things on your Big Shot, you're actually making a sandwich, because you're sandwiching your dies in between plates. Okay, so when you put your first pieces down, you have your adapter, or your platform, your thin die adapter, and then you're going to take one of your clear plates here, and you're going to put down your piece of cardstock and put down your butterfly. You want to make sure that the cutting part faces down. Okay? And then you take your top plate and you put it down on top of that. And then what you're going to do is you turn, I don't know if you can see here, but there's a handle here. And so you're just going to hold that down and you just crank that through your Big Shot, and it'll creak and make noise, and sometimes it might be difficult to go through. It shouldn't be so difficult that you can't move it. It should be just might be a little tight. Every Big Shot is different, and some might be really loose, and you might need a little piece of cardstock, which they call shims. So if that was really loose, I would take a piece of cardstock like that and stick it in with my, I would stick it in there when I'm making my sandwich. And that would just be enough to tighten that. So it would make it nice and tight when it goes through, to give that a nice good cut. Okay, because you want it to be tight enough that it cuts it well enough that it cuts out all those intricate pieces. Now when I have a nice intricate piece like that, I end up pulling it back the other way just to give it another good cut. So now I'm going to pull it off here. And so you can see here that you have your butterfly cut out of your cardstock. Now, this is a beautiful butterfly, and some people would throw that out. I definitely do not throw that out. I would cut that out and use that on a card, because that's actually perfect. You could make that into a butterfly as well. So here's the butterfly here. And I just want to make sure that this cut good. Okay. Now, I have a little tool here, and this is actually called, it's like a sponge, and it has like a little wire brush. And what you do is you put your die down on your mat, and you take your brush and you go over it like that, and it knocks all those pieces out. See, like that? And then you can take your little pieces out of your butterfly. There is our sweet little butterfly that we have there. Okay, so that is, and this is a great little tool here, especially if you have a lot of like intricate dies, and that does not hurt the die at all. But it saves a lot, especially if you're doing a lot of intricate dies, and then you can just take that and dump it right in the garbage, and it comes right off, just like that. Now the other kind of die that you can get is called bigs, and they look like these. They're very thick, and they have more than one kind of image on the back. Now this one here happens to be flowers. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then 2 little pieces that go in the middle of your flowers. Now these ones are fantastic because they will cut chipboard, cardboard, material, all kinds of different things, felt, and it's steel wool that's inside of here, and they're very strong. So I'm going to show you how strong these are. I'm going to show you with 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to put this over my bigs die. And now for this one, you don't need the platform or that one, because this is already a good thickness. So you put this in here, and you just need one of the plates on the bottom and one of the clear plates on top. And then I'm just going to turn that around. Turn that upside down there so it gets a nice cut. And you're just going to run that through. Just so you can see it coming out. So what should have happened here, and what did happen, as you can see, it cut out multiple of these flowers. So there's red and a red one here. Okay, it cut out all of those, and it also cut out all the blue ones. And if I would have had, 3 or 4 pieces of these, I could have cut all these out at one time. So if I was making a lot of paper flowers, I could have them all cut out at once, and it makes it so much easier Because if I want to, say for example, make these little flowers right now like that, you know, how cute are those? And, you know, I have these made already. Look how cute. You know, these little flowers are. Look how quick you can make something so cute. You know, look at how cute that is. So these big dies are very, very, very nice. And you can get them in so many different shapes, designs, all different things. So those are options too. Now, for a beginner that's just starting out, what I would suggest for if you're just wanting to get some dies to just start out, buy something to start out with along the lines of, I think my first dies were like a shape, like something along the lines of this. If I was to just get something to start out, I would get something along the lines of this. Now these are the stitch dies, because I would use these a lot for cards. Now these ones here, as you can see, they have like the stitched edge, okay? And now I have the ovals, the circles, and then if I flip it over on the back, it's the squares. Now there's so many uses that you could use with these dies, and that these all come in one set. These are through Stampin' Up. Again, I'm not a Stampin' Up demonstrator. It's just a set that I have purchased. But again, like in one set, there's many, many uses, because you can use these for sentiments. You can use these to put stamps in, you know, numerous things. I've cut out a circle and stamped an image in there. I've cut out these and used these to put, you know, thinking of you, or, you know, I stamped an image in these squares. Numerous times you can use these over and over and over. And like I said, if you're just buying a set of dies for the first time, to go with a shape like, well, these ones, ovals, circles, and squares, where you're getting that in one set, that's a fantastic one to start with. Or if you just want to start with circles or just start with ovals, that's a good choice. Once you start building up like a stash, then you can look at stuff like more intricate stuff of getting stuff that you will use, but they may not be stuff that you're going to use on a regular basis, but they still make beautiful cards. Like something along the lines of this. This is a die. Now this has, there's leaves, there's flowers, there's snowflakes in here, there's a branch, you know, different things like that, the lawn chair and stuff like that. And there's even a one that goes along the edge. So that's a good choice as well, but it's not going to be as well used as maybe something like the shapes. So for a beginner, you're best off to go with something like the shapes. Then, you know, pick up a butterfly, pick up a dragonfly, pick up, you know, something that you really love here and there. Like I said, it takes a while to build up your stash, and but you can't get everything at once. It's just, it's very expensive, and it's fun just picking them up here and there. Okay, so that's basically, oops, sorry for moving the camera. So that's basically it for the dies. I think I've mentioned everything for the dies. So let me see here. If I can give you any little tips. Oh, I want to give you a couple little tips for the dies. When you're running your die, say for example, through the Big Shot, and you had something like this, if you find that you put this through and all the little pieces weren't coming out, one little tip that you can do is take a piece of wax paper and put it over your piece that may still have cardstock on it. Lay it down with the wax paper against there, and then run it back through again. And you will find that the cardstock will come out easier. Or the other thing that works really well, excuse me, is if you run it through with a dryer sheet. That works fantastic, because the dryer sheet will stick. The cardstock that's supposed to pop out will actually stick to the dryer sheet. And I've used dryer sheets many times. So those are a couple little tips if you don't if you didn't know about. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you an embossing folder now. And I have a couple here. Now, I want to, let's cut a piece here. Cut my butterfly, I would say. Okay, so I have, let's see. Again, when you're picking embossing folders, you might want to pick something that you're going to use more on a regular basis than something that you're only going to use once in a while. Here is an example of something that you might want to pick up for something that you'd use more often. Here is almost like a, well, I have a piece that has been embossed. Now, this would be a fantastic one to pick up because you can use that many times as a background, and it would work on pretty much any card. Birthday, thinking of you, anything. Something also like this, just circles. They go with pretty much anything, a birthday. You could use it for Easter. You could decorate those for Christmas and put white. You could make those white. In future videos, I'm going to show you how to color your embossing folder and paint right on these, and so that you can use your ink right on these, and then you use a brayer, and when you run it through your Big Shot, you get the embossed look, but it has the ink right on there, which is a great little technique. So those ones are great examples of ones that are perfect to pick up. This one is a beautiful embossing folder, but might not be one that, again, you would use all the time. So, this will be a good one for a beginner to start out, or this one. But this one, you might want to say, well, I love it, but how often am I going to use it? So what I will do is I'll show you how to emboss. Now I just have a little piece of cardstock here. So what you do is you put it in your folder, okay, and you push it down like that. And you're going to take out the the one that says thin die adapter. So you just have your Big Shot platform. You're going to put in your clear plate. You're going to put in your embossing folder, and you're going to put it hinge side. So the hinge side, the side that folds, you're going to put the hinge side going in first. And this will keep your embossing folders in great shape. And you'll get the best embossed effect by doing this. And then you just run it through. Now normally you never have to run it back, so I'm just going to run it through once. Okay, there you go. And there is a perfect embossed piece of cardstock. And that's how you make an embossed piece of cardstock. Now for some tips for this, again, like I said, run it through hinge first, and that'll prolong the life of your folders because it keeps it from bending them, and because you don't want to snap off your hinge. And if you ever have trouble with anything sticking, like your cardstock sticking to your folders, run a piece of wax paper in here, and that'll help from your cardstock sticking to your folders. So that's just a couple little tips as well. You can also use the dryer sheet in these too, but I find I have never had any problem with my cardstock ever sticking to these. These are so versatile. Like I said, I'll show you a technique later, but you can pretty much use your ink pad to stamp right on these. Cover these right with ink. You can put your cardstock in there, put that down like that, and you can either take a brayer, which I'll show you what that is at a different time, and you can press this down, or you can run it through your Big Shot and you can open that back up, and it'll leave a beautiful inked embossed look on your cardstock. It's absolutely beautiful. But we'll do some different techniques and stuff that I will show you at a later time. So that is basically it as far as the Big Shot, and there's really no upkeep to it. You need to, the only thing I suggest as far as your plates is when you're using it, alternate your plates, if they start to get warped. So if you're using this one as a bottom plate a lot, every so often switch your plates and start using this one as a bottom plate. And then also flip them over so they don't get warped. As you can see, this one is starting to get a little bit turned up. So next time I will just turn that one down, and they don't get warped. But soon I need new plates because it's still good, but I just can't stand that. But that just drives me. So that's basically it for the, I'm just going to switch the camera here just 1 second. So that's basically it for the Big Shot tutorial. I really, really, really hope that you enjoyed that. Like I said, there is some people that have showed interest in knowing some information about that. I hope it was helpful at all to whoever was interested. And I hope that you learned something if you didn't know. And I know that there is so many people that already know about the Big Shot. And of course, you know, there's so many people that are very skilled paper crafters and everything. But maybe you learned something new. Maybe you didn't. And maybe you just wanted to hang out with me for a half an hour. And that's okay, because I definitely love hanging out with every one of you. So until my next video, you might find something interesting. I want to just say that we had a bit of a tragedy here. There was just a mass tragedy that I really don't want to get into it, but so I guess we could just pray for all the families and everything that happened in the shooting and everything that happened. And yeah, has been terrible. And I just been praying for all the families and the RCMP that were involved, and it's awful. I think there's over 17 or 18 people that have been killed for no reason. So it's very sad to deal with, on top of this virus that we're all confined to our homes with on top of that. So I hope that, again, that this was helpful, and I look forward to doing the other videos. I want to remind you all about the birthday challenge that's going on. I have not yet received anything, and I just want to remind everybody not to wait too long, because it does take a little bit of time for me to get mail in Canada, and I don't want people to wait too long and then we run out of time. The challenge goes on until May 24th. I would like to do the draw, and yeah, so I'm excited. So I'll look forward to when they start coming in the mail. If you are not a subscriber of my channel, please subscribe. Hit the like button, share with a friend, and hit the bell and select all, and you'll be notified of my next video. I'm also on Instagram, and my email is in the About section of my channel, as well as my address is up there for the birthday challenge. And please go to the Random Acts of Kindness everyday video. And I've seen people putting comments in my comment section, but if you're putting in a random act of kindness, please go to the Random Act of Kindness everyday video. You have to scroll down a little bit in the video section, but it is there, Random Acts of Kindness every day. And for my new subscribers, which I have had a few in the last couple of days, I'm very close to 400, so I think I'm going to have to do a giveaway, 400, which is exciting. And I might get to 500 for my 50th birthday, which would be fantastic. I told my husband I would be so excited to hit 500 by 50. So just cross our fingers on that one. But I will be probably doing a 400 giveaway. It's probably not going to be that long, because I think I'm at 394 or 390 something, 95 before I did the video. So we're pretty close. But I will get back to you and notify you on that. Anyways, I don't want to keep this video any longer. God bless you, everyone, and please stay safe. And I'm sending love and hugs to all my subscribers and everybody out there my YouTube family. Thank you so much for all your support. And I look forward to doing the next video. I'm doing these to help all the new people that are trying to get started, and I hope it really helps. So let me know in the comments if there's anything that you would like me to touch up on as well. If I missed anything, if you want to know anything about the Big Shot and I forgot to mention, please let me know in the comments. And all the things that I mentioned of the upcoming videos, if there's any other things that you want me to put in there, let me know that in the comments as well, and I can add that in there. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.